Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Here's a not-so-theoretical question. When is it okay to pay off female accusers? NBC News has had no problem doing it over the years on behalf of grabby TV anchors. But now that Donald Trump is accused of doing it, NBC tells us that's a felony. How exactly does that work? We'll explain just ahead. But first, even by the high standards of 2018, it was a bizarro day here in Washington. The president invited Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi into the Oval Office, turned on the cameras, and informed them he was ready to shut down the federal government in order to get a border wall. Here's what happened next.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. You keep talking about it.
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened it up very quickly. And
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times Chuck, you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said.
You want to know something?
You've said it.
Okay, you want to put that on my...
You said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And I am proud, and I'll tell you what, I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country. So I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it. The last time you shut it down, it didn't work. I will take the mantle of shutting down.
If body language is any indication, Chuck Schumer has never hated anything in his whole life more than he hated that moment you just saw. Weirdly, in Washington, there's always a scramble to blame the other side for government shutdowns. But that's not what happened today. As you just heard, the president said he would be proud to take responsibility for the government shutting down because a wall is too important.
We need border security. The wall is a part of border security. You can't have very good border security without the wall.
That's really not true.
That
is a political promise. Border security is a way to effectively honor our responsibility.
And the experts say you can do border security without a wall, which is wasteful and doesn't solve the problem.
Now, by this point in the exchange, not a single person watching at home was tempted to change the channel. It was just too compelling. The president himself appeared to be enjoying it. Pelosi was not enjoying it. She complained that the world was watching their argument in real time, but the president would not relent.
We came in here in good faith, and we're entering into this kind of a discussion in the public view.
But it's not bad, Nancy.
No,
it's called transparency. You know, Nancy's in a situation where it's not easy for her to talk right now, and I understand that, and I fully understand that. We're going to have a good discussion, and we're going to see what happens. But we have to have border security.
Mr. President, please don't characterize the strength that I bring to this meeting as the leader of the House Democrats who just won a big victory.
Elections have consequences, Mr. President.
Well, it was an amazing moment. The president is at his best when he's fighting for the interests of the people who voted for him and for the principles that he ran on. But tweeting is not making policy, and threatening a shutdown is not the same as shutting down the government or as getting a wall built. The president has actually made that threat before. In March, he signed a spending bill with no wall funding, but said he would never sign a bill like that again. And then in July, he tweeted this, quote, "I would be willing to shut down government if the Democrats do not give us the votes for border security, which includes a wall." But a September budget showdown came and went with no shutdown and no wall. This December 2018 is the president's final chance to get a border wall, the wall that was central to his campaign in 2016. That will never happen while Democrats control a Chamber of Commerce. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, Richard Goodstein joins us tonight. He's an attorney who advised both Bill and Hillary Clinton, and we're happy to have him. So I'm a little bit, just to get to the theatrics of it, were amazing. We don't know whether Pelosi and Schumer knew there were going to be cameras there, and all of that will become clear in the coming days. But what is clear is that Democrats adamantly oppose a wall, but they're for a fence. So what's the difference?
Well, again, the signature promise was we're going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. We just had a NAFTA deal signed, which was his opportunity to get Mexico to pay, and he didn't. So can we at least suspend any belief that he's going to make good on that part of the promise? Can we agree on that?
I think the rest of us are interested not just in the rhetoric, but like we have 22 million people here illegally. That's a disaster. Everyone agrees. The latest estimate is 22, but we have tens of millions of people here illegally. And our borders are not secure. Democrats have said we're for a fence, but we're against a wall because, as Pelosi told us last week, a wall is immoral. Why? What is the difference between a fence and a wall? Why is a fence okay, but a wall is not?
Well, I think the Democrats' view, and again, I'll quote John Kelly in his confirmation hearing when he was up for Homeland Security, a physical barrier in and of itself does not do the job. We don't want to keep playing goal line defense against people trying to come in from another country. So and again, can we agree when the president says we build a wall? That's nonsense. We had those prototypes still sitting in the desert for months and months and he was supposed to pick one and he hasn't.
But I think
can
now
we at least agree that he's
we can agree with what I've said a million times on the show, which is he promised to build a wall and we should build one now. And what he's asking for now, and it's late, I agree with you, but he's asking for the money to pay for the wall that he promised and that people want. People voted for him for that. 64 million people. So
well, most people voted against him, but okay.
Okay, but why are Democrats against? I just don't understand what the opposition is. So it's wasteful. Okay, this is a party that supports Head Start after 55 years of failed results. So like waste is not a real issue. That's a lie. Why do they support a fence but not a wall? I'm honestly, being a sort of simple person, like explain it to me.
So again, when there was a bill that passed the Senate back in 2013 with votes from pinkos like Orrin Hatch and Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio for comprehensive immigration reform, it included beefing up border security. It didn't call for a wall because, as Chuck Schumer said, the experts believe that the wall, like Israel has, wouldn't be effective here for a variety of reasons. So we could spend the whole segment talking about.
Has it been effective in Israel?
Of course it has.
Is it immoral?
No, I think it's been.
But why is it immoral if we do it?
Well,
then?
Because I think that the people coming into Israel there are blowing people up in a way that the immigrants here are helping pick our food. That's the difference.
No, I mean, some are picking our food, some are committing crimes. But the point is, Israel built its wall because it wanted to know who was coming over from the territories, right? Because it's its country, right? This is our country, so it's not immoral when they do it, but it is immoral when we do it. A fence is okay, but a wall is not okay. I mean, I'm sincerely
I don't think Nancy Pelosi said that the wall. What's immoral.
She said 3 times. The wall is immoral.
What's immoral is spending money on something you know is not going to work, and it's the experts.
Why are we funding Head Start? Has it ever worked? No, it hasn't. Not 1 year.
John Kelly was up for Department of Homeland Security Secretary, and he said the wall was really not going to be built from sea to shining sea.
No, but
that the wall
Trump
was
said
not.
That's it. Look, here's the point. It doesn't. Whatever we're doing does not work. And you know as well as I that the fear with the wall is that it will work and that it will prevent voters from coming over from Latin America to bolster the fortunes of a party that actual Americans don't really like that much, which is the Democratic Party.
So that's a caricature. I'd like to think.
Then what's the real answer?
Well, it's not that.
What's the real answer?
Because even the bill that the Democrats passed, that would have passed the House, incidentally, and had 15 Republican votes in the Senate, called for a very protracted period of time before people who were already here would get citizenship, enabling them to vote.
Like normal people are like, look, we don't have control of our borders. A wall is not the whole answer.
Donald Trump bragged about the fact today with Schumer and Pelosi about all these people being stopped. I mean, he has to get his record straight.
Look,
has it worked or has it not worked? He can't even be consistent.
I'm here to defend the country, not a politician.
Yeah.
Illegal immigration is actually spiking right now. There are lots of reasons for that. But the fact remains that it's true, and it's bad for our country. We've never tried a wall. A lot of Republicans are against a wall because they're for illegal immigration, because their donors are for it, because it's cheap labor. I get it. It's not a partisan question. I just want to know what the argument against a wall is. All the things we spend money on, like, why not try the wall? And like, no, that's immoral. Why?
Yeah, well, again, I'm not saying it's immoral. I'm saying it's impractical. And I'm not the expert, nor are you. But the people who are say it's impractical, that there are ways.
Really?
E-verification, getting employers not to hire people who are here illegal, right?
No, but
that would be effective.
But Democrats are opposed to universal E-verify.
That was in the bill that got every single Democratic vote in the Senate.
There's no universal Democrat support for that because their donors make money from undercutting American wages with foreigners.
Well,
if there were, I mean, come on.
Well, it was in the bill that passed with every Democratic vote in the Senate in 2013 and would have passed the House.
So you think Pelosi's for universally verify? We're going to punish employers if they hire illegals. She's for that? No, she's against it, actually.
I don't think that's true. I think Nancy Pelosi has said from the start back then, if you bring up that bill that passed the Senate,
we will get it. They're all against it. But like, can you see the frustration where we fund other countries' border walls and call them virtue virtuous, but Americans are like, we want to protect our own country. Shut up, racist. You're immoral. Do you see the problem?
Yeah, that would be a problem if it was true.
It's totally true.
What's true is that the Democrats want to beef up security along the border. This notion of it being open borders and Democrats want people to come in, that's a myth. That's I know that plays to the base. It happens just not to be true.
Then how did we get tens of millions of illegals here that the Democrats are protecting and telling us we can never deport? Like, how did that happen? Because they're for illegal immigration. Duh.
Well, we're not saying. Actually, Obama was criticized by the Hispanic community for deporting so many people.
There's no community of people. Like, I mean, this is a Hispanic community. There are Hispanic people who voted for Trump, who've got all kinds of different views.
Right.
Just because people are of one ethnicity doesn't mean they all have the same views. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. And that's true on every issue.
Yes, it is.
But what I'm saying is that Obama deported millions of people. So this notion that Democrats are unwilling to deport just happens not to square with the facts.
Well, we still have all these people here, and I see Nancy Pelosi telling me I'm immoral for wanting to fix it, and it's upsetting.
Yeah, I think that give her a chance to get a bill passed in the House. We'll see if Mitch McConnell takes it up.
Good. Well, I hope you'll come back and discuss it with us. Richard Goodstein, thank you.
Of course.